The following video is about a lady named Savannah, who's now in serious need of help, because it's starting to look like she's living through a real-life paranormal phenomenon. For months, she's been dealing with things she can't explain, footsteps pacing around her room late at night, objects disappearing and reappearing in different places, her closet door cracking open on its own, and the overwhelming sensation that someone is standing right beside her whenever she tries to fall asleep. But things escalated the night she swore she felt something sit on her chest while she slept. And what truly pushed her to her breaking point was when she heard something in the darkness, mimicking her voice, calling her cat. She screamed, thinking she was losing her mind. Then she eventually set up cameras. What you're about to see is a compilation from different nights, everything her camera captured. Watch.
What?
Some nights, small objects would shift and slide across the room as if nudged by invisible hands. Other nights, something would crawl underneath her blanket, pressing against her legs as she slept. There were moments where her cat would freeze, stare at the corner of the room, and suddenly jump as if something tried to pick it up. And on the worst nights, she'd wake up feeling a tight pressure around her foot, like something was slowly trying to pull her off the bed. She's already blessed her room, she's placed crosses around her apartment, she's tried cleansing, prayers, everything. But whatever is there doesn't seem to care. Now she's asking for help, because at this point, she's genuinely afraid of what might happen next. If you have any suggestions, now's the time to share. Who knows, your comment might be the solution she's been searching for. In this next clip, a paranormal investigator decided to explore an old crematorium, and after what he experienced there, he says he won't be going back anytime soon. Watch this.
This is crazy.
Crematoriums already have a chilling history. These are places where countless families said their final goodbyes. Places where bodies are prepared, tagged, and stored before the final process. And in older crematoriums, especially those that have been shut down for years, many say the air never really loses that heaviness, as if the walls themselves remember everything they've seen. Some former workers claim that late at night, before closure, they'd hear metal trays shifting on their own, or doors to the furnace room slamming despite no draft. Others swear that once a body is cremated, the spirit doesn't always follow immediately. Sometimes it lingers, confused, or attached to the place where its physical form spent its final moments. Strange noises in an abandoned building are one thing, but inside a crematorium, with that history, this is the kind of place you enter once, and then decide it's better not to return. Now, in this next video, a mother named Christy has been dealing with something that's starting to unsettle her in ways she can't explain. For days now, she's noticed a strange pattern. She'll be talking to her little boy, something simple, everyday conversations, and suddenly he'll stop mid-sentence, freeze, and stare off toward a very specific part of the house. No blinking, no reacting. Almost like he's watching something move that she can't see. At first, she brushed it off as childish distraction, saying kids zone out all the time. But it kept happening, and each time, his eyes went to the same direction. One evening, while she was prepping dinner, he did it again. Only this time, he wouldn't stop pointing toward the dining room, repeating the same thing over and over with a strange calmness that made her skin crawl. Watch this.
Where's the ghost?
Look at it.
What do you see?
I see something in a tiny room.
What is
I
it?
see something in a tiny room.
Where is it?
The head. You're too.
I don't see it.
I'm opening it. It's the head. See, look. I'm opening it. You is one.
What?
You is one.
There's what?
You is.
What'd you see?
Next to my side.
What?
Next to my side on. To my side on the hat. To my side on the hat.
It's okay.
I see a vacuum pudding on a. I see a vacuum pudding in a hat.
You see what?
A vacuum pudding in a hat.
Imagine your own child saying something like that, with that kind of certainty. Christy finally took him to the dining room to figure out exactly where this thing was supposed to be. It turned out to be a picture hanging on the wall. But here's the part that's confusing her the most. That picture has been there for months. He's walked past it hundreds of times, eaten dinner right across from it, played near it. And it has never bothered him, so why now? Some people think kids are naturally more sensitive, and maybe he's suddenly picking up on something attached to the photo, an energy, a memory, or a presence that wasn't active before. Whatever the case is, something about that picture has clearly changed. And until she gets more answers, this one remains unsolved. The following video was captured outside an Argentinian hospital. A man had just finished visiting someone and was heading back to his car when he suddenly heard a loud bang. Thinking maybe someone needed help or that something had fallen, he walked toward the sound. But when he got there, the place was completely empty. So he headed back to his car, and that's when he noticed this. Watch.
Estamos en este momento en el microhospital, escuchamos un golpe y nos dimos vuelta porque dijimos, bueno, ¿quién está entrando? Cuestión de que no hay nadie atrás nuestro. Y miramos dentro del auto y dijimos, oh, pues si el auto ¿Qué mierda es? Lo peor de todo es que no queremos salir. O sea, no... Un miedo, la puta madre. Lo peor de todo es que se mueve adentro el auto y no hay nadie. O sea, ahora vamos a ir a controlar el auto. Pero parece como si fuese un reflejo. La puta madre. Uf. No, huevo. Ya, salimos rápido para que vean que no es mentira. Mamá, la piel de gallina, hermano. Piel de gallina. Cagazo. Nadie. Yeah. Nadie. Un montón. Es un montón. Mierda. Y encima nos mira la puta que te parió. No, chabón. No. Desapareció. La concha.
The moment he saw what was sitting in the back seat, you can tell his entire body reacted. When he lifted his arm to the camera, you could literally count each hair standing straight up. That's not something you fake, that's a full body fear response. But what really got people talking were the details, especially the movement of the face. Whatever was in that car wasn't a reflection, and it definitely wasn't a person hiding inside, because he didn't even take the camera off the car until he reached for the door. And when the head suddenly ducked behind the driver's seat, yeah, reflections don't do that. Now, here's where this gets even more unsettling. This didn't happen in just any location. It happened right outside a hospital, a place where people pass on, where emotions run heavy, where many believe spirits linger the longest before moving on. So the real question is, what exactly entered that car? And why did it wait until he was alone? This one remains a mystery. Now, in this next clip, a lady's dog has been acting out ever since she got a new truck. At first, she thought it was nothing. Maybe he just wasn't familiar with the sound or smell. But the more she paid attention, the more unsettling things became. Have a look.
What is it? What is it? But there's nothing over here.
After watching this clip, some people said it could be the tires. Maybe the rubber was warm, maybe the scent was strange to him. But then a different wave of comments rolled in, questions that made the whole situation feel a lot darker. People started asking whether the truck was actually new, if she knew anything about the previous owners, or if the truck had ever been involved in an accident, because dogs don't usually whine like that unless they're reacting to something they don't understand, or something we can't see. She eventually came forward with an update that surprised everyone. The truck is brand new and she's already checked underneath, inside, and around the engine for any animals or signs of something stuck. Yet, Titus still behaves like this. She also revealed that ever since she brought the truck home, Titus has never agreed to get inside, not even once, and honestly, the comments weren't helping either. People began warning her that dogs can sense what humans can't, and that her dog might be reacting to a dangerous spirit attached to the vehicle. Some even went as far as saying that if she doesn't get it blessed, she could end up in an accident. One morning, Titus wanted to check the garage again, barking and whining in a way she'd never seen before, so she followed him, camera in hand, and here's what she caught. At this point, she has no idea what she's dealing with anymore. And honestly, none of the explanations so far feel comforting. So what do you think? Is Titus reacting to the smell of the tires? Is there a spirit attached to the truck? Or is there something else we're missing? Something that ties all these events together? Now, this next video captures something most people fear more than any regular haunting: a mimic. Mimics are the type of entities people describe as intelligent, calculating, and frighteningly good at imitating the voices of people you know and trust, usually to lure you closer or get you to respond. One afternoon, a lady was home completely alone when she suddenly heard this coming from inside her house. Watch.
Are you there, honey? Open the door for mommy. Bella. Wow. Bella.
The moment people heard that voice, the comment section exploded. Not because of the sound itself, but because of the way she reacted. She didn't panic, she didn't call out, she didn't ask who's there. She stayed absolutely silent. And for good reason. Because when it comes to mimics, the #1 rule everyone repeats is, do not respond. Responding means you're already playing its game. So the fact that she stayed completely quiet is what everyone agrees might have kept this from going much further. Now, in this next clip, the popular Midwest ghost hunter Ian continues his exploration at Bonanzaville, an open-air museum made up of old, fully preserved historic buildings from different eras of North Dakota. In the last video we posted, Ian entered the Telephone Museum, but this time he went to the Brass Rail Saloon in the Page Hotel, said to be one of the most active buildings on the entire property. Built in 1889, this place used to be a bustling stop for travelers. Food, liquor, music, rooms upstairs, the whole deal. But today, it's known for something else entirely. Voices that shouldn't exist, footsteps pacing empty rooms, and unexplained noises that seem to follow anyone who dares explore the second floor alone. Watch this.
Could you do that again? If there's anyone in here, I invite you to come sit with me. I just want to get to know some of the people that are here. I hear that there's a lot of spirits in this building. Could you walk up to this table and sit down with me? I mean, I didn't bring any cards or anything, but I mean, if you've got some, I don't know if you can in the afterlife, but feel free to sit on this table here. Whoa. I just heard that chair move. Holy moly.
Unfortunately, he had his infrared light pointing directly at the camera, making the chair in front of him impossible to see. But the moment he stepped out of that room, something else happened.
Is there anybody in here?
Whoa. That came from in there.
I think I might have heard somebody in here. Is there anyone in here?
Whoa. Oh. Oh my God.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm not gonna run. Did you just tap on that bed?
Oh my God. Oh, Jesus. That scared the living daylights out of me. Holy moly. Dude, that was a freaking voice. I heard it so clear on this voice recorder. Oh, it was a female. It was a female voice. It said like,
Ian was almost convinced there had to be someone else inside the building with him, but the footage says it all. He was completely alone. So the question is, who or what answered Ian that night? And why is her voice still echoing through a building that hasn't hosted a living guest in over a century? For more haunting videos including Ian, subscribe to the channel now. The following video was recorded by Francisco, a man who works at the Gallup Indian Medical Center, a place known for late-night emergencies, long quiet hallways, and the kind of unexplained noises staff usually try not to think too much about. Things fall on their own sometimes. Doors close when no one's around, and workers have shared stories of hearing footsteps long after the wards are empty. And on this particular evening, Francisco had his own experience. He was the only person left at work around 5 p.m. when he started hearing things.
And I'm just recording because I don't know who it could be or anyone's here. It's just me here. It's like 5 o'clock and nobody's here and I'm the only one here ready to leave. Hello? 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 It's crazy because there's nobody here. Hello? 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 Where is it coming from? There's nobody. I don't know where that noise is coming from. Hello? Anybody here?
He kept walking from one section of the office to another, checking every corner, every hallway, but there was nothing. Yet the knocking continued, clear, deliberate. And according to some beliefs, when a knock happens 3 times, it's not always a person. Some say it's a way for a spirit to mimic human behavior. Others believe it's a warning or a way to get someone's attention. Unsettled and unable to shake the experience, Francisco went straight to the security unit to explain what had happened. But when they pulled up the feed, no one was there. Just Francisco, and whoever or whatever wanted him to know he wasn't alone. Now Francisco is left with one question. If this happens again, what's he supposed to do? Ignore it, confront it, or leave it completely alone? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. This next clip was captured around 3 a.m. by a family you might remember from a previous video on this channel, but let me give you a quick rundown so you're not lost. It all started on random nights when their daughter would suddenly wake up crying, and while they were trying to calm her down, they'd hear someone knocking on their front door. At first it seemed harmless, maybe a confused neighbor, maybe someone who had the wrong apartment, the kind of thing you brush off because you don't want to assume the worst. But it kept happening, night after night. Same soft knocking, same timing, and eventually curiosity got the best of them. One night, the father finally decided to check, and when he opened the door, there was a figure standing right outside. People who watched that first clip said the family made a huge mistake opening the door at that hour, because whatever that figure was, it's like something shifted after that moment. The knocking stopped, but other things started happening. Watch this.
Se están escuchando ruidos en la parte de abajo de la casa.
No sé qué es
Buenas noches. Buenas noches.
Hay una nueva mirada sobre los cuerpos, la edad, la identidad de género, el lujo.
¿Ya vieron el sillón?
Hice mi primer dieta a los 9 años. They all love me, but they want me to lose weight. Tienen como una propia cárcel. ¿Qué pasa cuando sacan todo? ¿Qué quieres? ¿Te animas a divertirte?
Desvestida, la moda pasó de moda. Todos los domingos, 10 de la
Se estaba moviendo, lo juro por Dios.
por Star Channel.
Cada vez se empeora más esto. ¿Quién anda ahí? Buenas. Estoy bastante preocupado, se escucha ahora ruidos ahí arriba. Sea lo que seas, no perteneces aquí. No sé qué quieras. Vete de aquí, por favor. ¿Quién diablos prendió la televisión? Esta tele también.
Now the TV turns on by itself at night, and the rocking chair in the living room moves on its own. Slow, steady, like someone invisible has settled into it and is gently rocking back and forth. Viewers believe whatever had been knocking might have slipped inside when the door opened, almost as if the opening itself acted like an invitation. Others think the presence had been waiting for acknowledgement, and that moment at the door was the confirmation it needed. And with the rocking, the electronics flickering and powering on, and the strange, heavy silence where the knocking used to be, a lot of people feel this might only be the beginning of something more intense in that house. But what do you think is happening here? And what exactly can a family do in a situation like this? They might just be reading the comments looking for answers. The following clip has sparked a debate among believers and skeptics, and it all centers on a woman named Sydney and her sister Gretchen, Gretch as she calls her, who rented an Airbnb for a wedding they had that weekend. Only a few minutes after settling in, Sydney stepped out to walk the dog, but when she came back inside, this is what she met.
Touch it. Oh my God, what is that? Oh my God, what is that?
The curtain, the balloon, and the dog's leash that suddenly flung into the air on the staircase like someone yanked it upward. Skeptics immediately jumped in, insisting it was just the wind, or maybe the house settling, but others pushed back, pointing out how each object moved, almost as if something was interacting with them. Sydney and Gretch couldn't shake the feeling that something about this place was off, but it was only their first hour in the house, and leaving right away felt like they'd be overreacting. And besides, the dog seemed calm, which most people agreed was a sign there was nothing to worry about, but soon that would change.
Okay, so this is the leash. If this moves, I'm literally going to run. There she goes again. I don't think the leash is gonna move, but she's definitely sensing something. Every single day.
With the way the dog was reacting, there's definitely something on those stairs. It wasn't the curious kind of sniffing dogs do when they pick up a new scent. This was cautious, stiff, almost like he was bracing for whatever he sensed up there. And to make matters worse, one viewer commented that she actually recognized the Airbnb because of the carpet pattern, and claimed someone had died on those exact steps. Some believe that kind of energy can linger, attaching itself to the place and replaying moments of fear. Others think trauma can open a doorway, like the house becomes a magnet for things that don't belong in this world anymore. Sydney, determined to make sense of what was going on, began quietly looking around the house, checking corners and details she'd ignored when they first arrived. That's when she discovered something that might be the missing piece to their puzzle. Watch this.
Okay, so I think I figured out why my dog just is always hanging out right here. So I just found a door back here. So I don't think that it's what's on the stairs. I think it's something that's underneath. So I tried to check, but the door is locked. Obviously it's an Airbnb, so they lock a lot of the doors up, but so yeah, I don't think that it's what's on the stairs, like what I initially thought. I think it's what's below. I'm gonna find out at this point.
Now that they'd found a locked basement under the stairs, things finally began to add up. Sydney couldn't shake the feeling that whatever was happening on those steps, whatever her dog kept sensing and pacing around, was connected to whatever was sealed behind that door. It was almost like the dog was reacting to something moving underneath them, something it could feel but they couldn't. Curious and honestly a little desperate for answers, Sydney slid her phone under the door to see what might be inside. Watch this.
So this is the switch. You guys can see their light is on right there. I wonder if
just maybe there's someone right behind the door. Oh my god.
Oh my god. Oh my god, did that just happen?
The doorknob suddenly moved, like someone was trying to open it from the inside. At that point, the ladies were terrified, their thoughts going in every direction. At first, they tried to think logically. They even wondered if someone might actually be living down there because they'd experienced something similar at another Airbnb where the host was secretly double renting rooms. But when they checked the house again and found no one there, that theory fell apart, leaving them with something much more unsettling. After taking a moment to breathe and think through what just happened, the sisters decided to try again, this time hoping to catch whatever was turning the doorknob. But something even more terrifying happened. Have a look.
Scary. Okay. Okay, every time we've knocked before, this doorknob would turn a little bit.
Something yanked the phone straight out of Sydney's hand from the basement, and when the phone landed down there was no visible person in sight, yet the phone kept moving, almost like it was being dragged or nudged by something just out of frame. Viewers started speculating immediately. Some thought someone was hiding in the shadows, others swore it looked like the phone was being pulled by an invisible force, the way objects shift during severe residual hauntings. They called the host, who eventually came over to unlock the basement so Sydney could retrieve her phone. But when he arrived, Sydney and her sister noticed something they couldn't ignore. Watch.
But there's no reason for me to go that way. But I'm waiting to start hearing things from coming underneath my house. That's it. I'm out of here. Going under the door. Okay, well, door two, it's creepy.
Thank you.
The host had a tattoo of nested triangles on his right palm, and several viewers said they would bet anything that he knew more about that room than he was letting on. The symbol itself sent the comment section spiraling. Many viewers immediately recognized the symbol, saying it's associated with occult practices, protection marks, or rituals involving gateways or sealed rooms. The fact that this symbol was on his hand and the basement was locked under the stairs sent people into a frenzy. A few even suggested the tattoo might mean he tried sealing something in that basement, and that whatever it was might not be fully contained anymore. The situation worried a lot of people. Viewers kept asking for details, urging the sisters to leave the Airbnb immediately. Some even insisted they could get a refund if the host failed to disclose that someone else might also be renting the space. Eventually, Sydney responded with this update.
Okay, so I sent the video to the landlord of the Airbnb, and hold on, let me turn on the light. Okay, I sent the video to the landlord of the Airbnb asking, like, hey, is there someone else renting it out as well as us or what? Because there's a room under the stairs that we can't get into. It's locked, so I didn't know. And basically he was like, no, you guys are the only ones that are in the Airbnb right now, like booked out for the week. So okay, kind of feel relieved in a way, because I think it would be really weird and kind of creepy if there were people staying there as well that we didn't know about. But yeah, he didn't seem worried at all about it, so we'll see.
Now, Sydney is convinced they aren't dealing with a simple rental mishap. With the unexplained movement, the dog's behavior, the locked basement, the shaking doorknob, the phone being pulled, and the host's unsettling tattoo, it's getting harder and harder to deny that something else might be in that house. So what was in the basement? A spirit trying to get out? or something trying very hard to keep others from getting in? You decide. The following video was captured about 20 years ago by a man who lived in a flat that was built on the same ground where the old gallows once stood. From the moment he moved in, he's had that constant uneasy feeling of being watched. One night, he finally caught something weird happening. Watch this.
Has it started again? Just stopped. Away again. Explain that. That's freaky. Is anybody there? Oh, fuck that.
He wasn't the only one who felt that way either. Other tenants talked about hearing heavy footsteps pacing the corridors at night, and one neighbor even claimed she'd woken up to see a shadowy figure standing by her window. The shape of a man, head bent slightly forward, like he had a noose around his neck. This clip might not seem that crazy now, but back then, it terrified everyone who saw it. After he posted it, more people who had lived in that same building began sharing their own stories. Things they'd buried for years because they thought no one would believe them. Skeptics would have their usual explanations, but for the man who recorded this and the neighbors who lived through it, there was no question about it. Now in this next clip, a dad shares a seriously disturbing video he captured after weeks of strange comments from his son. The boy would randomly say things like, "Dad, I saw a man in the room." Sometimes it was the bedroom, other times the corridor, and once he even said the man was in the kitchen. At first the dad brushed it off, thinking his son was just being playful or had an overactive imagination. But then little signs started popping up that made him wonder if maybe his son wasn't imagining things at all. Toys were showing up in weird places, doors that were definitely shut would be open in the morning, and sometimes he'd catch his son staring at an empty corner of the room, his eyes following something invisible. That's when he decided to take it seriously. He went around checking every lock and window, making sure no one could sneak in. He even installed cameras in the house just to be sure, and one night, the footage captured something he still can't explain. Watch this. You can see a white figure standing there before it disappears, and you see all the doors were locked, nothing was tampered with, and there was no sign of a break-in. He's trying hard not to jump to the conclusion that his house is haunted. That's why he posted the clip online, hoping for a rational explanation. Some people suggested maybe it's a lost loved one keeping an eye on his son, but even that idea unsettles him, because if it is a spirit, friendly or not, why does it keep showing up? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this one. Ever since this next clip was posted online, the debate of paranormal or not has been going strong. But before you pick a side, here's the backstory. The woman who shared this says for weeks now, previous tenants had moved out in such a hurry. They didn't take their curtains, their mail kept showing up, and according to a neighbor, they left in the middle of the night after something happened. no one ever said what. A few weeks later, this happened. Watch.
It wasn't even that. That door was completely latched. I heard the latch click and then open. Listen. This. And then it just opened. And I was standing on that stair. So I was like, called my daughter, no answer. Called my mom, no answer. My mom is literally in bed. My daughter is literally in her apartment. This is like a farmer's latch, okay? Nobody can explain. I hope nobody followed me in the house and they're hiding behind the recliner or some shit. See how I latched it? Listen. Pull it hard. Latch. Go. Very bizarre. It's never happened in 47 years. Not a warm, fuzzy feeling.
She says she was home alone. No wind, no one outside, nothing that could explain it. And ever since that night, she hasn't been able to stop thinking about it. Now, here's where the debate really starts. Some viewers say there's no reason to panic unless the dog panics. And in this clip, the dog seems perfectly calm. So to them, this couldn't possibly be paranormal. But the other side of the argument is much more convincing. They believe the incident she's describing, the door unlatching and opening, actually happened before she started recording, meaning whatever caused it had already come and gone. So of course, the dog looks calm now. So which of this do you agree with, and why? In this next clip, a man had to set up 2 cameras, plus a real-time EVP and a paranormal communication app, all in just one room, because of the insane stuff happening in there. Take a look.
I lived here. Buried. Up here. She's hiding. Key.
You go.
Nature's 22.
You'll notice the top drawer of the desk slides open and shuts on its own, then the pen holder rattles and moves. Moments later, the ceiling light above starts swinging like a pendulum, even though nothing in the room is moving. In the background, there's a faint banging sound, and you can clearly hear the EVP pick up a chilling phrase. "I lived here," but that wasn't the end. Right before the EVP said "up here," faint scratching sounds came through the mic. And then, the part that made some viewers freeze. A shadow figure briefly appeared. Most people would have left it at that, but this clip kept going. The lights began flicking on and off by themselves. The chair slowly turned, and even the heavy armchair against the wall moved. After posting this clip online, viewers urged him to research the property's history. The only thing he found was that the house sat on what used to be dense forest land. No cemeteries, no known murders, no documented tragedies, just endless trees. Some think that's exactly the point, that the forest itself held onto something, and when it was cleared for houses, it stayed behind, trapped. Others argue there's a hidden story about the land no one's uncovered yet. For now, the connection between the activity in his home and the land it sits on remains a mystery. This next video was captured by a woman who finally had to speak out about the constant wall knocking she's been dealing with for weeks. Listen closely. At first, you'd probably think it's just someone working with a hammer, but here's the weird part. This wall doesn't connect to any other room or house. It's an exterior wall facing straight into her backyard, and at the time of the recording, no one was outside, no construction was happening, nothing. She even explained that her windows were shut, no breeze in the house, nothing loose that could rattle or bang. And although the video doesn't quite capture it, she says that in real life, the sound was coming from right beside her ear, inside the wall, not above or below. She tried looking it up online and found answers like water pipes, but no faucets or showers were running, and she has no pipes at all running through that section of the wall. Maybe it's a rodent, but to her it didn't sound like scratching or chewing. It sounded like a human hand knocking, And now, with her house turning 100 years old this year, she can't help but wonder if something, or someone, from its past is still trying to make itself heard. But, like always, I'll leave it to you to decide: construction, coincidence, or something else entirely. In this next clip, an explorer went on a ghost hunt at the Randolph County Infirmary, a place once home to the poor, the mentally ill, and the elderly. Over the years, visitors have reported all kinds of strange experiences here, and during his visit, this explorer captured something on camera that's still hard to explain to this day. Take a look.
Wait, did you really do that? Did you hear something? Go. Who is it?
Some believe what we're seeing is the ghost of a former patient, maybe someone confused, lost, or simply reliving a moment from their time there. But others think that explanation doesn't make much sense. Why would a ghost run? Some viewers argue that spirits tied to trauma or panic often replay their final moments, like a loop of energy trapped in time, which could explain the movement. So what do you think? Is this energy from the past still trapped in those halls, or just another case of the mind trying to make sense of something it can't explain? You've probably come across the video of the lady in this next clip, Silva, sharing her story on this channel about how the devices in her house suddenly started malfunctioning even when they were completely unplugged. She's also said this isn't the first time. According to Silva, the house she lived in before this one had strange things happening too, but back then, it wasn't the electronics. Watch this. You can see the blanket moving in a strange way, and judging by the dog's reaction, something was definitely not right. But the part that really made Silva panic was when her dog stopped barking and started growling, a sign even animals were on edge. Watch this. Now, in her new apartment with the appliances acting up, Silva's starting to think she'll never get it right when it comes to choosing a home. But is that really the case? You decide. In the following video, a man who's been complaining about strange occurrences in his home, claiming it's haunted, finally managed to capture something that might prove he's not imagining things. For months, he's told his landlord about what's been happening, but no one's ever taken him seriously. No proof, no evidence, just his word. But that changed one night when he woke up to a strange sound coming from outside. His first thought? The ghost is back. So this time, he grabbed his phone, determined to catch it in the act, and stepped outside to see what was going on. Watch this.
Oh my god, cái gì? Mất tự tôi còn chị tí ốc lên. Oh my god. Wow. Tao lên bị cái tụi này mà.
After recording the video, he immediately sent it to his landlord, hoping this would finally convince them something was off. He also shared it with a few friends, and before long, it was online for everyone to see. The comments that followed were a mix of sympathy and humor. Some joked that maybe the ghost was just helping out, but others pointed out something far darker. That perhaps a former tenant once lived and died there, and what the man captured wasn't a haunting at all, but the spirit replaying fragments of its past life, doing the same things it did before it passed. If that's true, then the man's nightly disturbances might not be a haunting out to scare him, but a restless echo of someone who simply doesn't realize they're gone. Hopefully, his landlord takes him seriously this time. Now, this next clip was recorded by a CCTV camera inside a shop, and what happened in it continues to stun everyone who's seen the footage. Watch this. At first glance, it looks like a normal night, nothing unusual, but then things start moving on their own. Items shift, fall, and one object in particular floats up off the counter, hovers for a moment in midair, and then drops straight to the floor. That's the moment everyone froze. Many people who've seen this footage tried to come up with logical explanations. Some say it could have been a mild earthquake or vibration, but no one's ever seen an earthquake lift something upward and keep it suspended like that before. Whatever happened in that shop that night, it's enough to make anyone question what they thought they knew about the world around them. So what do you think? Did the camera capture something paranormal, or is there another explanation that we just haven't figured out yet? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this one. Now, in this next video, two roommates share their increasingly creepy situation. For a while now, they've been dealing with things that go far beyond what they can explain, and most of it seems to happen inside their garage. On some days, they'd hear loud banging sounds or tools clattering on their own, as if someone was working in there late at night. On other days, the lights would flicker violently, and the sound of something dragging across the concrete would echo through the house. It used to happen randomly, maybe once or twice a week, but now it's become a daily occurrence. So they decided to install a camera to finally see what's going on. Watch this. It's one thing to wake up to strange noises and find nothing there, but what the camera caught the second time made their skin crawl. One of the chairs in the garage was suddenly launched onto a couch. The couch is just out of frame, but if you look closely, you can see the chair move violently. Considering everything they've already endured, the constant noises, flickering lights, and movement when no one's around, it's hard to brush this off as mere coincidence. In the following clip, a lady named Jess wakes up early one morning to strange, unsettling sounds coming from her attic. Take a look.
It's okay, Booty, it's okay. Nope. Nope.
She was home alone with her 2 dogs. Kaiser was in the living room, and Butavius, her smaller one, was whining nervously beside her. When people online asked why she didn't go up to check, Jess had the perfect answer. In her words, that's how people get killed in horror movies. Y'all might have the courage to go look, but I don't. She explained that although she didn't necessarily feel any dark or negative energy that morning, she wasn't about to take chances either. Now, here's where things get interesting. Her attic doesn't have any windows, just a large old mirror that's been up there since she moved in, and according to Jess, people had warned her to get rid of that mirror long before anything strange even started happening. But lately, it's become almost routine. Every morning around the same time, she wakes up to banging and the sound of footsteps pacing above her. So, what do you think Jess is dealing with? Could that mirror be acting as a portal, reflecting more than just her image? Or is there something else hidden in that attic that's been trying to get her attention? You decide. In this next video, a woman is quietly breastfeeding her baby when something truly disturbing happens. Watch.
Louis, wie naar de kamer? Als je naar dit niet was in de kamer, was er inderdaad hier binnen gekomen? Ja. Ja? Nee.
If you look closely, the yoga ball by the left side of your screen, which had been perfectly still for several minutes, suddenly starts to move. Not a gentle roll, but a slow, deliberate shift, almost as if someone or something gave it a subtle push. According to her, she felt an icy chill at that exact moment, like someone had entered the room, watching her. Some people believe what she caught on camera wasn't random movement, but a spirit trying to draw her attention, maybe even jealous or drawn to the baby. She insists the windows were closed, there was no draft, and no one else was home. So whatever moved that ball, it didn't want to be ignored. Now, in this next video, Monica Monge works after hours, meaning she's on duty when the office is completely closed on holidays and weekends. But recently, her late night shifts have taken a very disturbing turn.
Here we go again. I don't know what the hell. The lights keep going on and off. Oh. Okay. I have to go upstairs. I don't know. That sound was at the same time as the light went on. Okay, it could be an electrical thing. Doesn't have to be scary. I don't know what's happening. I'm not scared. But Okay, so I'm at my desk now and the lights went out. They were going on and off when I was downstairs. I was able to capture it one time. I'm not scared. I'm over it actually. I'm super irritated. I'm hearing shit. I hear whispering and humming. I'm about to go over there. Ugh. I'm not scared, but just super irritated. Okay. Oh, no. Oh, God. I'm not scared. Okay. How do I turn the camera around? Okay. I fumbled on the phone. I'm not scared. I heard humming. I'm gonna open that closet again. I'm not afraid. Nothing can hurt me. There it is. I don't know what the heck. I had the security guard leave the light on for me in this room. And
you can clearly hear it, a soft humming, almost like a child singing a playful tune somewhere down the hall. Then a faint voice says, "What are you doing?" The flickering lights, the sudden power surges, it's enough to make anyone's skin crawl. According to Monica, she isn't the only one who's experienced this. Both security guards have also reported the same eerie humming and even voices coming from the empty cubicles. That night, after Monica left, one of the guards texted her saying a small toy pumpkin had been mysteriously moved to their station. When she was later asked if those toys were donated, she said yes. Some now believe one of those toys might carry a lingering attachment, maybe from a child who once owned it, one who never truly moved on. Others think the toys are acting as conduits, holding residual energy that wakes up when the building is quiet. But I'll let you be the judge on this one. In the following video, we meet Melody, a woman caught in a deeply unsettling situation that's been escalating fast. For weeks, she's been complaining about her back door opening on its own. Friends told her it was probably the wind, so she decided to test it by placing a heavy brick against the door. But what happened next was terrifying. By the next morning, the brick was gone, completely vanished, and the door was wide open. Later that day, she received a text message from an unknown number that read, "Stop ignoring. Is the brick still by the shed?" Moments after, her phone buzzed again with a chilling voicemail, a distorted, almost inhuman voice whispering something she couldn't fully make out. But that's not even the first strange thing that's happened. Just days earlier, this happened.
Okay, this might be nothing, but the timing is just not it. It was my birthday, right? And I got these flowers. Boom. They're dying. I know, that's not weird because it's me, okay? They die. No note. So, and I figured, you know, when it's my birthday, someone's gonna call or text me and be like, happy birthday, did you like my flowers? That didn't happen. It didn't happen. So, hold on, my dogs are freaking out. Hold on. Back to the story. So today when I get home, okay, yeah, I leave a note.
If you look closely behind her, a dark, almost human-like figure seems to appear in the background for a split second before vanishing. Now, with the missing brick, the creepy text, the eerie voicemail, and the way her dogs bark uncontrollably at empty corners, Melody's beginning to feel like she's being watched. Some believe the figure could be tied to the property, maybe a previous resident or someone who once lived nearby. Others think it's something darker, possibly using electronics to communicate or mimic human behavior. And a few have even suggested the flowers left by her shed could be part of some kind of ritual offering. Whatever it is, Melody's story is growing stranger by the day, and until she shares more updates, this one remains an unnerving mystery. Now, in this next clip, the popular Midwest ghost hunter Ian continues his exploration through one of Nebraska's most haunted locations, the Argo Hotel. After running out of rooms where strange, unexplainable things had already happened, Ian pushed further into the building, determined to make sense of everything he'd seen so far. But what he didn't know was that the next room would add to the mystery. Watch this.
Right there, with the bead curtains. That's the door they literally had to remove because guests were getting freaked out. Well, it seems like they're gonna have to remove this door too, on top of it. If there's anyone in here, could you show yourself? Well, I'm getting orbs. And in this photo here, they're floating around. Oh, there's like a bunch of them. Is that you I'm seeing? There's one floating over by the door, the bathroom door. Are you standing by this bathroom door here? Whoa, whoa. Those are moving. Those are moving. Oh my God. How are those moving right now? Is there some kind of like air current over here? I don't feel anything. There's no drafts. Nothing. No central air. Who's in here? Who just moved these beads? Talk to me. I'd just like to speak to you.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Okay, I swear to God, I just heard a freaking whisper behind me. It sounded like it came from this room. If that was you, could you say that again? Oh my God. Oh, that startled me. Holy crap. That echoed from in here now.
He calmly called out to any spirit that might be present, and then everything went completely still. No movement, no sound. That sudden, unnatural silence made him uneasy, enough that he decided to leave the room. But before stepping out, he set up a camera, hoping to capture whatever might happen once he was gone. For more haunting videos including Ian, subscribe to the channel now. The following video was recorded around 3 AM by a guy who struggles to sleep at night, so he usually keeps himself busy until the exhaustion finally kicks in. On this particular night, he was watching TV like he always does, but when he stood up to head to bed, he suddenly felt something. Watch this.
What's up?
What the f? Did you hear that jingle then? You hear that jingle? That definitely moved. What the f is going on in this house? And my cat as well just keeps doing this. My cat just keeps walking around meowing, which is also freaking me out. So weird. So weird. Are you here to hurt me? Are you here to do me harm? Are you friendly? Whoa, what the f? Nah. Nah, f off. No way. What the f? No, man. No way that just moved. Loki? Loki? You need to get out of my house, whatever you are, whoever you are, you need to leave. You need to leave right now. What's going on? For fuck's sake.
The moment viewers saw the African mask hanging on his wall, the comments section exploded. People wanted to know where he got it, how long he'd had it, and whether its presence lined up with the strange activity he'd been experiencing. And the more he talked, the more everything started to make sense. He revealed that he's owned the mask for a year, but it had only been inside his home for a couple of months. And ever since then, he'd been hearing noises while lying in bed. Light taps, distant footsteps, soft shuffling in the hallway. At first, he ignored it, but now it's escalating. Another morning, around 4 AM, wide awake again and unable to shake the uneasiness, he finally decided to make a video for everyone begging to see the mask up close. Watch.
Anyone's got any opinions on this after they've seen it up close? What kind of mask it is? How old it might be? No expert. But what the Well, that's not freaky, is it? Jesus Christ. For fuck's sake. I'm tripping over stuff now. Hello? Hello? Oh, no. Everyone's been saying, why have you got the lights off all the time? The landing light does not work, right? There's no bulb in this light. Because usually I ain't shit scared of going upstairs. But I'm doing this because I just want to try and prove to you all there's nobody in the house but me and whatever the this is. Me. Oh! Oh my god! Oh, you fucking hell. There was a figure in the window. There was a silhouette in the window. There was a silhouette in the window. Oh my god. Oh my god. Why are you doing this? Huh?
After that clip surfaced, his viewers began sharing their own experiences with similar African masks. Some claimed the masks brought them sudden waves of bad luck until they removed them from their homes. Others said their once quiet house became strangely active and unsettling the moment the mask was hung up. Many urged him to get rid of it before whatever was attached to it got comfortable. And here's where things get even more intriguing. In many African cultures, traditional masks aren't just decorations. They're spiritual artifacts. Some are used in ceremonies to honor ancestors, summon spirits, or protect the tribe. But others serve as conduits, symbols meant to channel ancient energies, often tied to rituals outsiders may not fully understand. If a mask like this was once used in a ritual or belonged to a lineage of spiritual significance, it could carry an imprint, a presence. So the real question is, does he just have an artifact on his wall, or did he unknowingly bring something ancient into his home? In this next clip, two friends were on their way home after a party. They were still laughing, still hyped, and decided to record a quick video to send to the friends who couldn't make it, just to show them how the night went and how chaotic the party had been. But while filming that harmless update, they ended up capturing something entirely different. Have a look.
Got my son in the back seat. Shut your You ain't getting no ice cream! Why do you scream like that? No. Hello? Hello? I don't like that. Dude, that was her. Grab the phone. What the heck? Did we just catch a paranormal Grab the phone. I'm not doing this no more. Grab the phone. I'm trying. Don't leave me. What do you do? I'm about to fall on my face. No, I'm not. No! No, do not. Hey, door. Is it still recording? Yes! Oh my god, it's me.
Now, here's where things get strange. The exact moment they screamed, the car's lights suddenly went off. But could there be a normal explanation? Some people think so. They argue that loud vibrations inside a car can loosen wiring or cause an already faulty light to flicker. Maybe the timing was just a strange coincidence, but others aren't buying it. They point out that the light didn't dim. It cut out instantly, like something interfered with the energy around them. Some are convinced they might have stirred up something they couldn't see, something that reacted the moment their voices spiked. So did their screaming disrupt the car light, or did they unknowingly catch a paranormal moment on camera? You decide. Now in this next video, a woman named Jennifer Ricks stumbled upon an old clip her daughter recorded about a year ago. Before finding this video, Jennifer had already been dealing with strange things around the house. Moments where she'd be sitting completely still, home alone, and a dark shadow would walk past the hallway like it had somewhere to be. Her dog, normally calm, also barks at odd hours of the night, sometimes staring into corners as if watching something move. But she never connected any of it. Not until she saw this clip. According to her daughter, the moment she was filming, it felt like someone was trying to take a peek at her from behind the door. That quiet, unsettling sensation of being watched, the same feeling Jennifer herself had dismissed for months. And when you put this clip side by side with all the strange things that have been happening in the house, it's hard not to understand why Jennifer now believes something is truly off. But the real fear isn't what they've already seen, it's what might come next. If this presence has been around for over a year without them realizing it, what else has it been doing that they haven't noticed yet? Until more updates come in, this one remains completely unsolved. The following footage was taken by a man's home camera, and what he later saw still stuns him to this day. Have a look.
You want to see something weird? I have the blink camera and the poltergeist static. Now I know that nobody is home. I check back on the footage and I see a light turn off downstairs, but there's nobody home. Nobody home. Nobody home. Very weird, but a very, very good capture. Check this out. I mean, people could be like, oh, well, there was somebody down there, and I wouldn't post something like that, right? This is crazy.
The craziest part of this footage is that you can clearly hear the sound of the light switch being flipped. That sharp, unmistakable click that only happens when someone physically touches it. Your first thought might be an intruder, right? Someone wandering through the house without his knowledge. But that theory falls apart quickly when you know the other things he's shared. Objects in his house have moved suddenly without explanation. A few times, items have even fallen on him, as if pushed, and more than once, he's caught faint laughter echoing from this exact same room. Soft, almost playful, but definitely not human. Viewers who analyzed his older clips pointed out something else: strange-looking dolls and toys scattered around the room, some with faces that look unsettlingly worn or distorted. He's never addressed their origin, but people can't help but wonder if one of them is tied to whatever's going on. So when you take everything together, the laughter, the objects moving, the eerie toys, and now a light switch flipping on its own, the idea of an intruder becomes the least likely explanation. It feels more like something has made this room its space, something that doesn't mind being heard, and now doesn't mind being seen. But in the end, I'll leave it to you. What do you think he's dealing with? Having a home camera is like having an extra pair of eyes watching the moments you never even knew were happening. And that's exactly what happened in this next clip you're about to see. Watch. The camera suddenly detected movement, followed by loud banging and knocking that seemed to come out of nowhere. The owner of the house said it felt like something was there, something she couldn't see but definitely could hear. That's why she decided to share the footage online, hoping other people might catch something she's been missing. So take another look. What else do you see in this clip? In this next clip, a man and his son went to check on a storage unit where he keeps all his fancy collectibles and strange antiques. But lately he's been convinced something malevolent is inside that unit. Objects shift on their own, and even the employees have reached out to complain about loud crashes and bangs coming from his space. They even invited him over so they could show him the clips themselves, and confirm whether he was anywhere near the facility when those sounds were recorded. But he wasn't. And that only made his suspicions feel a whole lot more real. But the staff didn't believe him at first, so he decided to prove it. He set up cameras inside the unit. Watch.
But just watch the video for yourself.
After he posted this clip, viewers swarmed the comments warning him to never take the cursed monkey doll home. This doll, which cost him nearly $2,000, has a history he didn't know about until it was too late. From the moment he brought it into the unit, the activity escalated. Wherever this doll sits, things fall, objects slide, and even heard from people that once owned something like it, that it might be tied to old ceremonial practices, or that the doll was once used as a vessel in rituals meant to house wandering spirits. Whether any of that is true, well, that's up for debate, but one thing is certain, he's never carrying that doll home. Now, in this next video, the popular Midwest ghost hunter Ian continues his exploration inside one of Nebraska's most notoriously haunted places, the Argo Hotel. If you've been following his investigations, you already know this place has a reputation for strange activity, and Ian has captured plenty of it on camera. But on this night, after wrapping up his walkthrough, he realized there was one room he hadn't checked. Watch.
Those are some freaky dolls. Did you just make that noise? It definitely came from over here. Little girl, if that was you, would you be able to... Oh God! Alright, that's it. That's it. That doll just turned and looked at me, and I am done. Get me out of here. Alright guys, I know I ran, but damn, that was freaky. I don't know, I just couldn't handle it down there anymore. There's just a whole nother feeling, especially when you're all by yourself. Oh man, that was so freaking crazy. I can't believe that doll just turned and looked at me like that. It looked like it was possessed. Like it literally, like I was worried I was gonna get possessed or something. Like, oh my gosh, dude, that was so freaking scary. Holy moly. But anyways, I'm gonna leave cameras down there for the rest of the night. I think I'm gonna call it a night. I'm about at my limit for now. But this is a fantastic location. I absolutely love this place. This was such a fun investigation. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I don't know what else to say. Yeah, be sure to like it. Again, comment your thoughts down below, and also subscribe if you haven't already. But I'll see you guys on the next one.
The doll suddenly turns, slowly, directly toward him, almost like it's aware of him, like it's responding. And in that moment, Ian is done. Completely done with this place. He leaves immediately. No hesitation, no second guesses. But the question is, how did it move? The most well-known spirit in the Argo Hotel is a woman named Alice, believed to haunt the basement. According to local stories, she passed away in childbirth in the 1940s, and people say she still wanders the halls searching for her lost baby. Some think she attaches herself to children's toys. Others believe dolls act as vessels that make it easier for her to communicate. Whatever the case may be, the Argo Hotel continues to leave investigators with more questions than answers, and to this day, the mystery remains. The following clip was recorded by a guy named Kyle, who's been dealing with something deeply unsettling in his home. For weeks now, he says he's been hearing strange noises coming from his crawl space every single night, and not the kind of noises you brush off. Some nights it's low growling, other nights it sounds like giggling voices, almost like children playing where no child should be. One evening, he decided to crawl in there with a camera to finally see what was going on, and this is what he captured.
I should not have come here. What the f is that? I'm stuck.
the harsh grunt, the growls, that haunting, childlike cry echoing in the distance. And if you look closely, it almost seems like there's someone, or something, standing at the far end of the crawl space before shifting out of sight. Viewers have been debating what Kyle encountered. Some believe the mixture of growls and childlike sounds suggests more than one entity in that tight space, something darker paired with something mimicking a child's voice. And a few people pointed out that crawl spaces are usually spiritually dead zones, quiet, forgotten corners of a house, which makes the idea of multiple voices echoing in there even more disturbing. Whatever those sounds were, they weren't normal, and they definitely weren't random house creaks. But I'll let you decide what you think is hiding beneath Kyle's home. Now, this next clip was recorded by an explorer who decided to spend the night inside a house that locals swear is haunted. He'd already heard the stories, voices in empty rooms, footsteps that follow you down the hall, and objects moving when no one's around. Still, he wanted to see it for himself. Around 5 a.m., long before sunrise, he suddenly started hearing unexplained knocks echoing through the house. Watch this. People who've experienced hauntings say knocking is often the first sign that something is aware of your presence and is testing how you'll react. And then there's the belief that knocking inside a haunted house is usually a warning, a way to send a message that you're not alone and you're not supposed to be here, especially in a place known for previous visitors reporting the same thing, knocks with no visible source and always at the exact same hour. So was someone trying to communicate with him? Was he being warned? Or is something else living in that house reacting to his presence? You decide. In this next clip, another group of explorers decided to check out an old abandoned school, the kind of place where every hallway feels frozen in time, and every empty classroom looks like the kids left decades ago and never came back. They were there mainly for the architecture and the eerie silence, and while filming, they had no idea they'd captured something far more unsettling than peeling paint and dusty desks. Have a look. Right there, at the end of the hallway, an apparition that looks like a little girl. It wasn't until later, while reviewing their footage, that they realized what they'd actually caught on camera. Some say kids' apparitions are rarely what they seem, and although it didn't follow them, didn't move toward them, didn't even acknowledge them, the idea that something was silently standing there the entire time makes this clip one of the most chilling discoveries they've captured so far. Now, this next clip is about a lady named Morgan, who's been dealing with a string of unsettling, unexplained events inside her home. For weeks, she's complained about strange activity, lights flickering at odd hours, doors opening slightly on their own, and small objects shifting places when no one was near them. At first, she thought it was electrical issues, until the noises started. So she installed cameras around the house hoping to get answers. Here's what was captured. Right after she posted this footage, Morgan said the noises suddenly stopped, but the lights didn't. They flickered again the next night, this time before she even turned them on, and that's where the mystery begins. The following clip is a follow-up video from Sydney and her sister Gretchen, who rented an Airbnb for a wedding weekend, and ended up getting much more than they paid for. In their previous clip, they documented several strange things happening inside the house, objects shifting on their own, sudden movements near the stairs, and their dog refusing to stay away from that area, sniffing, pacing, and staring like something was standing right there. But the strangest moment was when Sydney slid her phone under the locked basement door, and something yanked it out of her hand. So before they checked out, they asked the host for permission to finally open the basement, just to make sure it wasn't a rodent or something harmless that grabbed her phone. Watch.
Yeah, I don't know.
She posted the clip online asking viewers what they saw, and some people claimed they heard a voice whisper, "I don't like you." Others pointed out something chilling. Inside the basement closet, there was another door, and instantly, people started wondering, what if something was hiding in there the entire time? Then, when Sydney turned off the basement light, viewers noticed something even stranger. Something standing there in the dark where nothing had been seconds before. Sydney left that basement without the answers she was hoping for, still confused, still unsettled, with more questions than when she went in. And just when they thought they were done with the place, something else happened before checkout that made them draw their own conclusion about that Airbnb. Watch this.
Let me see, baby.
They left traumatized, especially after remembering what one viewer commented under their first video. She said she recognized the Airbnb because of the carpet pattern and claimed someone had died on those exact steps. Whether that's true or not, nobody knows. But until more guests come forward with their own experiences, this one still remains completely unresolved. In this next video, a mother named Adrienne Dakota shared a clip that genuinely shook her because of what she noticed only after replaying her security footage. One afternoon, while checking her indoor cameras, she spotted something inside her living room, something hovering right around her child's playpen. At first, she couldn't make out what she was seeing, so she zoomed in, replayed the moment, slowed it down, but the more she looked, the more unsettling it became. Now, what makes this even creepier is that Adrienne had already been documenting strange occurrences in her home, and for whatever reason, these incidents always seem to involve her children's toys. But this time was different. Watch.
Some of you are saying that you cannot see what I'm talking about. It took me a good minute when my sister showed me, but once I seen it, I couldn't unsee it. So just to kind of make it easier for you, because I know you can't really zoom in on TikTok, I will repost a shortened version for you so you can see exactly what I'm talking about in both spots.
Whatever that was, it clearly wasn't a pet. She doesn't own any cats. And her 2 dogs? Both were right there in the living room when this thing appeared. Her baby was in the room too, sitting only a few feet away when it happened. To Adrienne, this didn't look physical at all, but until she drops more updates, or until someone can identify exactly what was caught on camera, this one remains a mystery. This next clip is from someone you've definitely seen on this channel before, Rosanna. Her situation is one of the longest running and most unsettling cases we've ever covered. She's tried everything, spoken to multiple paranormal experts, cleansed the house more times than she can count, changed rooms, changed routines, but instead of getting better, things only escalated.
Ça marche pas. Ça marche.
Just imagine dealing with that kind of terror every single day. The sounds, the shadows, the constant feeling that something is standing right behind you, watching. Rosanna has since moved out of the building, but she's still releasing old clips, evidence she recorded during the worst of it, hoping that someone out there might finally recognize a pattern or have an answer she hasn't tried yet. She's separated, raising her kids alone, and fighting a battle she can't even see. And the hardest part? Every solution she's tried only brought temporary calm, a short moment of peace before the next wave of activity crashed back in. Until she finds something, anything that truly works, Rosanna's case remains one of the most disturbing and mysterious stories we've followed. Now, in this next clip, the popular ghost hunter Ian continues his late-night exploration deep in the Minnesota woods, heading straight for an isolated cemetery that locals whisper about constantly. It's been called one of the most haunted places in the region, and tucked inside it is something the town refers to as the glowing grave. At 2 a.m., armed with nothing but his flashlight and camera, Ian walked toward that grave and immediately tried to communicate with whatever might be lingering there. And that's when this happened.
If there's anyone that haunts this gravesite, could you show yourself somehow? I heard that this grave glows in the dark. Could you show me this phenomena? I'll shut off my light. If this grave glows, could you make it light up right now? Whoa. Holy crap. Dude, I just seen like a light float by that tombstone. A glowing spirit orb suddenly floats in front of the old tombstone, without explanation. Did you just appear? I'll take my light away again. If that was you, could you appear like that again? Oh my god!
Once again, he captured that same mysterious glow. Only this time, it was brighter, clearer, and much harder to dismiss. Some viewers believe these could be the phantom glows people have been reporting around that cemetery for decades. Small bursts of light that appear around certain graves and vanish when approached. But Ian's night didn't end there. While he was still investigating, something else happened.
Could you do that one more time? Oh, whoa, whoa! What the hell was that? Could you do that one more time? Oh, whoa, whoa! What the hell was that? Suddenly, the fence begins rattling by itself without reason. Oh, whoa, whoa! Oh, whoa, whoa! Oh, whoa, whoa! That sounded like the fence. Did you just rattle this fence? If that was you, and you just rattled this fence, could you do it again? Whoa. Holy moly. Dude, this is crazy. This fence keeps rattling.
The cemetery fence began rattling on command, and this pretty much proves he wasn't out there by himself. For more haunting videos including Ian, subscribe to the channel now. In the following video, two friends experienced what might have been the scariest day of their lives, when one of them suddenly ran into the room, panicked, claiming she saw someone inside the house. Watch this.
Of the kitchen, like
no, you didn't. No, you didn't. Great. His light is on.
And the freaking, I literally saw.
No, Gracie, his light's on.
Yes.
I turned it off. No.
I can't. I literally can't call the cops. That's serious. Like that's how serious I am.
And the light is on, and so swear on everything. That big light's on. No, the light, like one of the lights is on. I don't remember which one. And then I came in here because I got scared. Did you? They're gonna break the door. Did you not see that shadow? Yes. You saw it too. So I'm not jumping. We're right here. Please. Close. Okay. No, I'm really scared, Gracie. Help me. It's still locked. Just go run. Gracie. Stop. Don't do that. I'm not angry. I was staying happy for someone. Where's that?
From the way the video ends, with the cops yelling "hands up," the idea that someone might have actually been there is terrifying. But here's the strangest part. No one knows how that night ended because the girls never posted a follow-up. So for now, what really happened inside that house still remains a mystery. This next clip is body cam footage released after a woman called the cops, convinced someone was inside her home. Have a look.
Anyone inside?
I'm gonna check downstairs, you get upstairs.
Police! Anyone inside, make yourself known. Downstairs clear.
Upstairs clear?
Yeah, we're good.
After searching every room, closet, and hallway, the officers found no trace of an intruder, no open windows, no footprints. But for the homeowner, that made things even worse. She says this wasn't the first time something like this had happened. According to her, it started with doors unlocking on their own, faint footsteps in the hallway, and lights turning on at odd hours of the night. Now, after watching the body cam footage back, she's starting to believe it's not a person at all, but something else entirely. Some viewers think it could be a residual haunting, others believe she might have unknowingly brought something into the house, maybe from an antique or a secondhand piece of furniture. But what do you think? I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. Now, in this next clip, a man captures a terrifying incident at his place of work that still keeps him up at night. Watch this.
Compañeros, hago este video porque estaba escuchando ruidos aquí atrás. Son las 3:25 de la mañana. No veo nada. Miren. Miren. Miren eso. Se acaba de caer. Se está moviendo esto. No hay nadie por acá. No hay nadie. A la mierda. Miren, se movió esto. Ahorita que venía caminando por acá. No veo a nadie. Miren. 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 Miren cómo se mueve eso. Para que vean que no hay nadie aquí.
From the look of things, this seems to be inside a hospital, and with all the strange things people claim to experience in hospitals, it's hard to ignore this. A few nights later, he caught what looked like a shadow crossing behind a patient room, a room that had been empty for over a week. And then there's the elevator incident. He was on the ground floor alone when the elevator suddenly opened by itself, and the monitor showed it had come down from the morgue level, even though no one had called it. What makes it creepier is that staff who work the night shift have also reported hearing the intercom turn on randomly with faint breathing sounds and doors to storage rooms opening by themselves. Some believe hospitals are places where spirits linger, tied to moments of suffering or confusion before death. Others think he's dealing with an intelligent haunting, maybe even the spirit of a former patient who refuses to move on. Whatever the case, he says the activity has grown stronger over time, almost as if it's aware that he's been recording it. And the scariest part? He's now started hearing his own name being whispered when the halls go silent. Whatever's inside that hospital doesn't seem ready to leave. In this next video, a woman reaches for her camera after she starts hearing strange sounds coming from her living room. She said it had been happening for weeks. Faint footsteps, quiet knocks, and sometimes the sound of furniture shifting when no one was there. But her friends didn't believe her, so this time she decided to film it. Listen closely.
Saying I'm schizophrenic. Do you hear that? Lord, save me. What? I'm the only one here, bitch.
She's now convinced her house is haunted. But with everything she's experienced, she insists that since no harm has come to her, she can live with it. Some people in the comments agreed, saying maybe it's a harmless spirit, one that's simply attached to the home or to her energy. But others weren't so sure. They pointed out how the activity seemed to happen mostly when she was alone, suggesting something darker, an intelligent presence that responds to her awareness. One viewer even mentioned that ignoring such activity might only make it worse, like giving it permission to stay. So what does she do now? For the moment, she says she's sticking to her gut and staying in the house. She doesn't feel unsafe, and as long as the activity remains harmless, she's willing to coexist with whatever or whoever is causing it. Still, it's hard not to wonder, will things stay peaceful, or could this be just the beginning of something more sinister? Only time will tell.